We are. Hi, folks. Glad to see you tonight.
We're just about right on time.
Welcome.
Good evening for any of those who do show up. We should say good evening because when we say it, there's virtually no way anybody could be here yet.
Right.
So the only ones who are really going to see it are those that come in and watch it on replay, right?
Yeah. Someone's here. Got one on there.
Yeah, I kind of got delayed again on the notification through the Cibolo Shirts Facebook group. I thought I put the notice out there in plenty of time, but it kind of died in the queue for a while. So it didn't get back up until almost 6 o'clock again. And then Kate gave me let's say,
Hints?
yeah, hint. I should be putting word out there earlier in the week, Monday and Tuesday, or even Sunday and Monday about what's going to be happening Tuesday night in the local media. And it was kind of like, well, duh, why didn't I think of that?
That's what you had me around for.
I've always said Kate's the better idea person.
For those of you who are watching on replay, please don't forget to like, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe and ring the bell so when we do go live, you'll see the notification and know we're out there. We've got 3 watching, and we've got 1 thumbs up so far. Thank you for
Cool.
that.
Please feel free to join in. We'd love to see you.
I'd love to hear from you on the chat. Let us know what you're doing and what's going on.
The goal of these chats, if you could say that it's got one, is
Firehouse. Hello, Irene. It's good to see you.
Hi there. Is kind of like, how's everybody doing? What are we all doing to cope? How are we overcoming the difficulties that we're being faced with? There's some pretty creative folks out there, I'll tell you that. I've seen some amazing imagination about some of the ways that people are creatively dealing with their isolation, and definitely showing that their senses of humor are still intact. That's really some funny stuff. And some great ideas. I mean, who knew that homeschooling could, actually be fun for some people? Others it's killing them.
I'm spending time in the kitchen cooking. Duh, that's a big surprise. Who's this thing in?
Tina Turner.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. I'm glad you figured it out. Some of the ways intelligent.
So it's very intelligent humor myself. Yeah, it's it kind of tells me we are very resilient people. You know what I mean? All things considered, yes. Right now we're what you could call kind of a first world isolation situation. We're self-quarantining. It's not being done by armed guards and militia yet, but we're finding some very creative ways to deal with that isolation.
Very little has changed for us either, Iron Firehorse. David still doesn't go out, and I don't go out unless I have to, and that has not changed. We've been living that way for years now. So not a lot for us. Someone else just came in, but I can't quite tell who it is. Maria Jimenez?
Mara Juarez says, hello. I just saw this and decided to jump in. Well, come on in.
I'm glad you came in.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I messed up your name, but the screen's so far away I couldn't see what it said.
And Gina, I'm hopefully kind of trying to solicit viewers from around the Cibolo Church area. Gina, is that where you're from? And the same question for you too, Mata, if you don't mind. Kind of, if you're in and around the Cibolo area. Gina, I heard you. You haven't been out for 20 days. I've been in. I think the last time I was out was the 4th of March when I went to the doctor. So that's what's going on a little over 6 weeks now.
And as far as the
oh, good, Gina.
The laundromat being closed down, not because the laundromat was closed down, but years ago I did my laundry in my bathtub and I stomped on it in the tub and you run it out, stomped on it in the clean water until it was clean. So There are ways to make it through if you don't have a washing machine or a laundromat to go through. It's just a little more physical work to do it that way. She lives
In
off 1103.
CVR, off 1103, I think. CVR, I'm not sure. That must be the name of the neighborhood. I don't follow all those neighborhoods over there. Don't go out that much anymore. But anyway, there's been a lot of genuine creativity in amongst all the just crazy stuff that people are doing.
I get out about once a week, go check on my mom and my dad, and I usually take mom grocery shopping because they don't have the wherewithal to stock up enough, so they have to go grocery shopping. But we try and do that as safely as possible, and then I bring her home and we try and clean things up before we bring them in the house. So
Kate's gotten very good at that. She even sprays our mail with alcohol before she brings it in the house. So she's taking extraordinary measures.
I have a sanitation station in the garage.
Yeah.
Also, you're going to have to read. I can't.
Oh, okay. Mata Juarez is in Shirts, close to HEB. My name is Maria. My husband did the email address, and I got stuck with. Okay. Oh, and you got rid of your housekeeper 2 weeks ago, too. I'm sorry, that was Mata Juarez, and her real name is Maria. But, and Gina said they let their housekeeper go 2 weeks ago, so now it's all falling to her. Yeah, that's it makes life tough, you know. It's
But we don't have a fireplace, but we do have a candle.
Have a candle.
That's our fireside for tonight.
Up to now, it's been kind of a not really such a good thing if you were living on what they call a fixed income. Nowadays, fixed income is to be desired. So,
at least we know we have an income and that it'll come in every month.
Share it for retired pay, huh? Yep. Share it for retired pay.
And the good thing is that being quarantined is not really a problem for us because most of the time we don't go out every day. We don't have a job to go to or other things. It works for us very well.
I know your time out is being curtailed more than you would like it to be. You just like to be out and about.
Right. But there's a reason not to. So I looked up.
I'm real glad that you're willing to cut back to what's necessary too. So there is that.
You have to check on mom and dad.
Yeah.
Question about that. 91. Mom turned 91. What's today? Today is the 14th.
Today's Tuesday. She
the turned 91 yesterday. And I took her out on Saturday and that's the time.
Yeah, it does. It works as a fireside light, Gina. What the heck?
That'll be 91 on the 1st of May.
The Iron Firehorse says he's been in isolation for 3.5 years.
She's been what?
Iron Horse has been in isolation for 3.5 years.
Yes.
And I'm not even kidding. Let's see. Mata's husband works for HEB. And poor thing, before he enters the house, I make him get undressed outside by the porch. That gives the neighborhood some entertainment.
Well, it's better to be safe than to worry about a little embarrassment, that's for sure.
I tell you what, I can relate to that, having to get undressed more or less outside. For about 3 years, I lived in Mobile, Alabama, and I inspected shrimp in a little town called Bila Battery. And every day when I'd get home, obviously, I smelled like shrimp. And
some people that think that's no good, but
well, yeah, but
it can be a little bit much.
It can get a little bit rank. So anyway, my routine every day was when I got home, I went around to the back of the house where we had sliding glass doors, which went into more or less my bathroom, which was a half bath with a shower. And I just went straight from the outside right into that bathroom, stripped off my clothes, got in the shower, and we have clothes hamper in there, and that stuff just kind of stayed in there until it got washed. But well, I'll tell you what, if I had not done that, that whole house would smell like nothing but shrimp.
I'm fortunate. My sanitation station is in the garage. I come in the back door and I walk right past the washer and dryer. I undress in the garage, drop my clothes in the washer and dryer. 3 steps inside the door, and I'm in the bathroom, and I can step in the shower right there. So,
Gina said that her adult children received their stimulus checks this week.
oh,
2 haven't worked in 3 weeks. Well, that's pretty good timing. That's good. That's what that program is supposed to do. And Gina says that her daughter is a social worker in Dallas County. She's still drawing a paycheck. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah. And Iron Horse, yeah, eating shrimp, but if you're working around shrimp, 8 or 9 hours a day, and then taking it home with you, it gets old real fast. Yeah, it does. Even now, I was telling Kate the other day, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with shrimp. I love them, but oh my God, I've eaten so much over my life. When I was there, we had shrimp all the time because I could get it for next to nothing right there on the boats. So anyway,
I love shrimp. He's not all that fond of it. So what I do is when we used to go out to the Chinese restaurants, I get to peel your own and eat my fill there. They didn't like seeing me coming because they knew I was going to hit the shrimp.
Iron Horse, I know you don't seem to have a lot of good luck with and knocking heads with some parts of society. I'm sorry that you didn't have a good experience with that social.
I'm Firehurst to say it was a waste of government money. That social worker probably would have been paid anyway. At least that way, they did something for that 1 hour.
Yeah. Yeah, Mona, there's some seafoods I like, others I don't. But like I was telling Kate the other day, I've never, ever gotten my fill of lobster. It just, I've never had so much lobster in front of me I couldn't eat anymore. I'd like to, just once. Wouldn't you?
Darling, there's a lot of seafood I would like to get my fill of at least once.
Yep.
I would like to have some shark. I would love great big thick shark steak. They are wonderful.
I could go out with some calamari if they're made right. If they're good calamaris, I could go out on some of that too. And good, Alaskan king crab leg. That I would. That I'd like to get a hold of. That crap to get at Chinese restaurants.
I'm not fond
Nothing.
at all of crab. Not any kind of crab.
So,
I like stuffed calamari. The only way I've ever had calamari was fried, and it was very crispy and it was really delicious.
Tina, I thought I recalled you saying that you have grown children. So, if I may ask, what sort of things are going on around your house? And the same thing for you too, Mata. Oh, stuffed calamari. Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. It is sad that we are. It's our own fault. There's so damn many of us. The only way we can be handled is if we are objects. We've gone beyond the point where the personal touch just takes too much time.
We certainly aren't the middlemen.
We're all cogs in the wheel, partner. We're all just cogs in the wheel.
Like I said earlier, I've been spending a lot of time in the kitchen the last few weeks. And I'm doing all kinds of things. Today, one of the things I did, I made a banana bread.
Yeah, we're going to have some.
Fun. It was fun. I did something I've never done before. I chopped up walnuts and put walnuts in it. Dave loves walnuts and banana bread, and I've never tried it, so I did it, and it turned out pretty good.
Believe it or not, the walnuts that we have in the house are all to feed the birds, basically. We eat very little of them, but I do like walnuts and banana bread. And Gina, I see you said all 3 of yours live in the Dallas area. They call every few days. That's good to hear. People staying in touch. I imagine they probably call up and just scold you for make sure you're staying in, right? My kids have been all over me, just for the point of distraction.
Something I've been trying to do in the kitchen for the last 3 or 4 days and just haven't managed to get it done yet. I have harvested a whole bunch of dandelion flowers, and I'm going to make some dandelion bread. That I've never done before, but I have a wonderful recipe, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So
I'm not sure how that one's going to come out, but I've always told Kate, I said, I will eat anything you put in front of me one time. If I eat it twice, that's okay. There's been a few other one-timers, but not many. Not many.
Occasionally, I don't hit a home run.
Well, it's
I'm batting
some
about
of them,
298 instead of 300.
some of them are just flat-ass experiments too.
Yes,
Yes. Let's don't do that one again. So anyway, Jeannie, your kids are staying in touch, and what are you doing to pass the time, if I may ask? Obviously, I think you're also cleaning house, right? Didn't you say you had to let your housekeeper go? Making a sourdough starter. Kate was just talking with her best friend about doing that earlier today. It's failed 4 times already. Yep, keep trying. Hang in there. Sourdough speed. Well, have you actually made sourdough starter before?
No, I have not.
Successfully? Okay.
I have not. I've tried 2 or 3 times.
And it fails?
Well, the reason it failed is because I didn't do it right. That's all it is.
Well,
I thought I was doing it right.
that.
Now, one of the times, the last time I tried it here. And we have a lot of wild yeast in this neighborhood, apparently. And instead of just making sourdough, it was crazy. And it just grew all kinds of things in that jar. So I didn't want to take a chance on it and I threw it out. But I've been doing some more research and I'm going to try it again. This time I'm going to put cheesecloth over the top of the jar. So just putting a tea towel over it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to screw the lid down that'll hold it smoother and straighter across so nothing can slide in underneath.
Okay, good.
So we'll see how that works. And I'm also going to do some Amish friendship bread, which is similar to sourdough in that you use wild caught yeast, but you keep it completely enclosed. You want to open it up once a day and stir it and feed it and all that kind of stuff. And I have some fermenting lids that I can put on to allow gas to get out, but won't allow oxygen to come in.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to trying those out.
See how it goes.
Okay, so let's see what we got here. Iron says, I've just been cooking like I usually do. I don't want to gain weight unnecessarily. Well, let's hear it for your self-control, partner. Dandelion Witch, she's talking about dandelion bread, which
you
I
make
am.
it with the petals of the dandelion flower. You
She's
take them out of the green part.
Been picking those for a couple, 3 days. And then Mata is making a sourdough starter. Gina says she can't make fried chicken or pancakes.
Gina, I have to
Iron
take years
eats
to learn to
dandelion
fried chicken
greens.
properly.
Gina says they're doing books, Netflix, and walking. Yeah, well, that's the great American pastimes nowadays. Gina said she ought to do a starter as well for sourdough bread. Oh, and Mata said she names all of her sourdough starter since they're all due on me. This last one I named it He Who Should Not Be Named.
Huge. I'll have to start naming mine. Maybe that's it. Maybe they don't feel loved, so they die.
Okay, Iron says I got took down by the Sikh team by accident. Last time I went for a walk, I'm not going out again. So
got took down by what?
The Sikh team. I don't know if it means he slipped and fell or something, but Sikh team. Celtic Bear, hello there. How are you? Hi.
Hey, how are you, Celtic? Good to see you again.
Yeah. And Mata said if everything goes well this time, she'll share her sourdough starter.
I'm sorry.
Mata says if it goes well this time, she will share her sourdough starter.
Oh, that would be awesome. Thank you very much.
That would be nice.
That would be super. Once
I had the same question, Mata. What is a seat team, Iron? Come on, fess up. You mean you landed on your butt? Okay. Oh boy.
Too still?
I guess. I
Or
don't
too
know.
far forward?
I think I'm scrunched up. I'm trying to squeeze too much of me in too small a space.
Celtic there is hunkered down in
In
Charleston.
Charleston. Okay.
I was taking my 90-year-old groceries, and
Already saw me out the day before.
that's right. Of course, she lives. You can only go out once a week, and if you have two people in the car, they have to have the same address. They can't have different
Okay. I
addresses.
see.
Huh?
The seat team must be the ones that go out there and ensure that you keep your seat in your home. Something like that. Anyway, I see it now. Yeah. Yeah, well,
I was watching Bev Wolfie this morning. She's also in Canada,
yeah.
and in her area, her sister came to live with them during this time frame because she lives alone normally. She's living with Bev and her husband. And if they go out together and get caught out together, each of them can get fined $1,000 because they have different addresses. So they have to go out singly, not together.
Wow.
Yeah. Apparently Canada's really serious about keeping this down. Do I see Kevin there? Does that say Big Wave, Florida?
Yeah, it does. Hey, Kevin.
Yay, hi,
Hey.
Kevin. Good to see you.
Closed on his 10 acres and stayed up in North Florida last weekend.
Yay, that's
It was
wonderful.
awesome to self-isolate on my own property, on your new property.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Outstanding,
Kevin.
big guy.
Awesome.
That's great. That's good news. For those of you who don't know, Kevin's been trying to close on some land for a couple, 3 weeks, and he drops by pretty much any time that we're live streaming and with Kate's program on Sundays and everything else. So although we didn't have one the last 2 Sundays in a row. Okay. SWAT team like for narcotics and stuff usually, but their extra duties during lockdown is to make sure people are observing it. Oh my God. I bet they're just loving that. Yeah. That's kind of funny. It is in a way. I mean, it's
Not a job I want.
real totalitarian, but it's kind of funny in a way. Okay, Gina says, my 84-year-old dad souped up his VA-issued scooter. He got stopped on the sidewalk. He was clocked at 21 miles an hour. He lives in Bakersfield, California. Well, I tell you what, darling, good for him.
Really.
Yep, good for him.
Picked up his scooter. That's good for him.
21 miles an hour, huh? That's pretty good. I tell you what, I've had the use of a fairly nicely powered wheelchair for a bit, and just going up and down my driveway here, it goes fast enough to get your attention. It's only going about 9 miles an hour.
Take care, Celtic. Thank you for stopping in.
Yeah,
We
appreciate it.
Get some rest.
Thanks a lot for coming by. Appreciate it. Iron says it's working. Wish they had stopped people from the city coming up to the cottage country rural areas. Yeah.
That would have slowed down spread for sure.
Yeah. Playlist Little. Hi, Dave. This is Shirley Little. I'm glad to finally meet you. I'm from UC, Texas. Please stay healthy. And thank you for coming by, Little.
Thank you, Shirley. Appreciate
Or
it.
Shirley, I'm sorry. It's nice to see you here.
Glad you joined us.
We're trying to build a little viewership for lack of a better name, we're just calling Fireside Chats. But it's a bit of a struggle right now. We're just trying to get some interest to see some of the cooler stuff that people are doing locally in and around Cibolo, Shirts, Universal City, Selma, all around the area here. Just kind of see how everybody's finding ways to positively cope with quarantine and isolation and everything else that's going on. So if you are listening and you are local, whether you're online with us or not, just kind of get the word around. We're trying to build just someplace where people can kind of come and talk about some of the good stuff they're going through right now instead of all the difficulties and uncertainty and confusion and everything else. So trying to put a little bit of a positive spin on it, just kind of come in and see how things are going good for you.
Like we said earlier, Fireside Chat. We don't have a fireplace, but we do have a candle, so that's as close to fireside as we can get.
And they call me Peter Pan.
Pardon?
And they call me Peter Pan for trying to come up with
I do.
kind of an island of sanity.
Fitness classes live on Facebook. Oh, what a good idea! When do you do that, Shirley?
Yeah, keep moving. I wish you could. I wish you could.
Have what?
She said she does fitness classes live on Facebook to stay sane, and says keep moving. That's Shirley. So said I'm glad she can. Yeah, more kids are out riding bikes, and it's funny. They want what they can't have. Go outside. No, I want to play my games. Well, okay, play your games. No, I want to go outside.
Kevin, I don't know if there were books, but there used to be a president that did fireside chats with the nation.
That was FDR.
Yeah, I was trying to remember if it was once a week or once a month. He did
it was pretty much every Saturday night during the Depression.
When?
Every Saturday night during the Depression.
Okay.
My dad used to tell me about listening to him. Yeah, there's more kids out playing, and that's great. It's that's a nice thing. But
Thursdays 9 a.m.
Please be nice once I was able to prove that I was doing.
Shirley, is that on Facebook or on YouTube?
Yeah, I like having that kids not being at the two schools next to you. Oh my God, that would drive me crazy. Recesses and lunchtime would be hell. Yeah, that would be tough. I kind of like that piece of that bread.
In case you're wondering what we're doing, guys,
I haven't had dinner yet, so
I made banana bread today. And I made a chopped up walnuts because Dave loves walnuts. So he's going to enjoy some banana bread, and I think I will. I would love to have you all join us too.
Oh boy,
that'll have to be virtual on your part.
Let me assure you, it's very good. I am her guinea pig for everything she cooks on her food channel. This is a good one.
Thank you, sweetheart.
So, what else is new? Oh, 250 screaming kids. Yeah, oh my God.
That's not fair.
Well, I'll tell you what, when Kate told me she was going to make banana bread, it was just another instance of where she was reading my mind, which she does all the time. Because I've been really kind of hankering for some good banana bread myself. Yep. Except I got mine, and y'all don't. Nanny, nanny, boo, boo. Yeah, that's it. Good to stop watching cooking shows. Yeah, that's
I still watch them, but I try and make what they're cooking healthy. Maria's looking for bananas in her kitchen. Craving. See it well enough to read.
Mata said they're not ready for like 3 more days. For bananas, apparently they're green. Well, before we went on the air, I'm the one that asked Kate to bring this out here. And my evil intent was exactly what's happening. I figured some good banana nut bread being eaten by a couple of people on there would just drive everybody crazy. So that's just me, and my warped sense of humor has got y'all just really jonesing for banana bread now. So yeah, it's my fault.
Make something else, Maria. Can't make banana bread? Make something else. Make some good sandwich bread or some zucchini, or got a can of pumpkin? Make some pumpkin bread. We accomplished it.
Yep. I'm a bad man.
I've been spending a lot of time out in my garden. I just say to the moon with you.
Yep.
Trees,
I picked up 3 scrawny green bananas for my daughter the other day. She was like, "What are those?" Hard to get anything at the store. Yeah, it is. You're right.
Well, I've had those 3 bananas that I used for this bread on my counter for almost 6 days. So they were almost past ready to be used.
Oh, there you go. Oh, coconut rice pudding. That's a good idea.
Coconut rice pudding.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't thought about doing that. That's a good
Yep.
idea.
That's a good one. Or
I agree. The moon has been beautiful.
Tapioca pudding, isn't that what that really is? Rice?
No, rice pudding, not tapioca pudding.
But tapioca isn't there kind of a rice in there?
No,
No? Okay.
tapioca is a whole different thing.
Okay.
We've had an awful lot of rain over the last 2 weeks. We haven't been able to see the moon most nights.
Well, Iron, that's because we've been in a, what is it? Perigee. The moon is closer to the Earth right now than it has been in a long, long time. And this is one of those periods where it's coming in closest. It's like, I think it was Thursday night of last week.
Yeah.
It was supposed to appear at about 13% bigger, and it's dropping off now as it's turning out of phase.
Hello, Renee. It's good to see you. Glad to have another Cibolo with us.
Yeah, it was a very special eclipse or full moon. I didn't see it. Who were you talking to?
Renee Pollock.
Oh, Renee. Okay.
See y'all right there in Cibolo with us.
Well, thank you for coming in, Renee. We're just starting up kind of a group to chat together, I guess you'd say. Gina is from, I think it was Universal City. And
shirts.
Yep, and Mata Juarez, who is Maria, is from here in Cibolo. So, and we live just outside of Cibolo on Country Lane.
Kevin is in here somewhere. He's from Florida.
Kevin's down in Florida.
Iron Fire Horse is from Canada. Kevin and Iron Fire Horse both also follow me on Sundays when we do a live stream on my channel, Inside Kate's Kitchen.
Room the cat's a big cage when the weather gets better. You talking about like an outdoor thing or a cage? Well, about all you can say is that 13% bigger might not be kind of within the range of what you might notice when you're just looking at it up in the sky, since it is quite a bit of ways away. But if they'd even taken even a low-powered telescope to it, they would have been able to see it much more clearly. But I understand. But it was bigger. Assure them of that they were seeing the moon as close to the Earth as it gets. So,
10 by 10 degrees.
Oh, they keep getting snow up in Canada, huh? Yeah, 10 by 10.
What are you using the gazebo frame for, Iron Fire Horse?
Sounds like a telescope.
Pardon?
Probably a telescope. Then are you cousins with the tiger guy? I haven't seen his show yet.
What?
There's this guy called, I think he calls himself Tony Exotic or something like that. He supposedly has this place in Florida where he's got 200 big cats that he takes care of. And I don't know what the story is, but there's just all kinds of buzz all of a sudden about this guy all over the internet, reality TV, and all that crap.
We do have a large cat, but he's an orange flame Siamese. So
Yep.
mostly white and all of the points are orange.
This guy's got lions and tigers.
Bears, oh my.
So I haven't bothered to get invested in the guy at all. Okay, so
Watch that show. I didn't even know about it.
Gina says it's a train wreck. Well, that makes for good TV, doesn't it? Okay, I have 4 cats. One of them is my feral Mad Max. Yeah, big scary personality, but really Abigail baby. A big baby. Okay.
Autocorrect gets you every time. You never can. You can count on it.
That's the first thing I turn off on when I get my keyboard options. Turn that crap off. Autocorrect, dictionaries, all of it. Type ahead. Okay, so how many we got in here? 6?
People and 2 thumbs up. Don't forget to put your thumbs up, guys.
Yeah, please do.
Trying to build a good channel here for Dave.
That'd be nice.
If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and don't forget to click the bell so you get notices when we do that. Thank you, Irene. Love these awkward silences.
I was just thinking, I mean, this channel is the bird lister. And that's why I started it. And that's what I wanted to focus on, was the fact that we have 3 large macaws. And while Kate is providing virtually all of the day-to-day care for those birds now, simply because of my inability to get around very much, I still have a lot of experience and knowledge and understanding about birds. And I really would like to share it in some way, shape, or form. So I thought about, well, I'd start up some sort of a YouTube channel and just talk about the 20 years or so that I've spent getting to know big birds up close and personal.
If you look below your screen, on the underneath the chat section of it, if you're on a computer, you will see a thumb up like this. If you're on the phone, you have to get out of the chat and the thumbs up shows and then go back into the chat.
Oh.
Kevin says we're good people and that's why he watches us. He appreciates our knowledge of the bird.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Aaron Firehouse. I appreciate that. You're welcome. I moderate for several channels that do live streams with like hundreds of people show up sometimes. And you have to learn that sort of thing because otherwise you'll have 40 or 50 people at one time saying, I can't find the thumbs up. So I learned those little tricks and I try and share them out pretty quickly.
She's a pretty good admin for a lot of folks' channels.
I used to do quite a lot more than I do now, but I kind of had to step back a little bit because I had so many going on. I couldn't do any of them real justice. So I stepped back to just a few, and now at least I'm able to do a good job for the ones I'm working with.
Well, she's been asked to be the admin for some pretty big providers. You do pretty good out there.
I don't like being spread so thin that I can't help anyone. You know, got too many people pulling at you to go different directions. You can't go anywhere at all.
Tell you what, though, if she's moderating for you, you're getting a damn good moderator. No doubt about it. Okay, let's see.
Oh, she always enjoys your post on the community page.
Well, thank you.
Who is that?
Charlika Sherman. What? No. Does y'all do drugs?
Oh, yep. No.
Happy pills, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. You know, if you get old, you start to get a little optimistic because you've gotten old. Iron said she used to mod for several channels, even a couple I didn't watch, but we're having troll problems. Yeah, well, I heard that too. Kate is death on trolls, boy. She'll cut them off right at the knees. Yeah, Kevin, to be a moderator, it does take a bit of time, and you can get to where. I mean, there was a time there where Kate had all of her appointments written down on her big calendar, and there was something going on at least once a day. At
One
least
night a
once
week
a day.
that I did not have something going.
Yeah, and it was always, you know, it'd be supposedly 7 to 8, but it'd run till 9, and she might have another one starting at 9. So I mean, it got pretty bad, and it was just wearing her out. So luckily, she pulled back, and everything's gone pretty good since. Renee, thank you. I haven't written anything lately. Just I don't know. I kind of, it's got to come to me. I got to feel it. But lately, I haven't had much on my mind. Well, that's not true. There's been a lot on my mind, but it's not the kind of stuff that I want to write about. So,
And his muse hasn't come in and hit him over the head and said, "Write this."
no.
You know, he goes about writing in a very, what I consider to be kind of a strange way. The title comes to him, and then the article comes to him. Most people, the article comes and you get it all written, and then you figure out a title. But not David. David writes the title, and then the article fills out from there. But
And
what
somehow
did
or
y'all
other,
think of
Valentine dances.
Oh, it was.
Well,
fun.
we were the king and queen. What do you think we thought of it?
It was so sweet. It was really
That was totally
unexpected for one thing.
a huge surprise. I had no idea that was. I didn't know there was going to be a king and queen. So,
I didn't either.
but when you start thinking about it, it was all supposed to be kind of like, you know, a senior prom, although it was boring 20s Valentine's Day theme, but it was really nice. We've still got our crowns, I'll tell you that. Not sure
And
where it is.
we got the what do they call the pictures that are not the finals? The proofs.
The proof, yeah.
We got the proofs of the pictures that they took of us there. And when this lockdown is over and they start printing again, the photographer says we can order pictures then. The outfits that we got turned out to be a really good deal. We went to a costume rental place in San Antonio. And it turns out the young man that waited on us was the son of the owner, and he is the godson of one of our neighbors here in Cibolo. So it was quite surprising, and they were wonderful. And he had so many wonderful options for us. The outfit that I ended up wearing had belonged to his grandmother. So, and
Yeah, these were the real deal. These were not,
they were not
little cheap things that you see like at Walmart that are sewn out of plastic. These were the real deal.
Yeah.
I was wearing a pretty snazzy suit with a big heavy vest and a big scarf around my neck and everything. I mean, and it was all genuine stuff. There was nothing fake. So that was fun.
Renee, it was, as David said, it was a complete surprise, but we were just so touched. So lovely.
Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, Valentine's dance, we loved it. Mona, thank you. I appreciate your comment. Renee said she was rooting for us for all that. I'm so glad that we got it. Mona apparently missed the Valentine's Day dance was a lot of fun. And Kevin says it's hard to write that way. My advanced English teacher in high school used that technique to challenge us. I can babble forever, but naming a title is hard. Just my opinion. I don't know why it works that way, but oddly enough, usually if I get the title and then the article comes, somehow at the end, the title comes back almost always as somehow appropriate for the closing. I can't figure it out. I don't know why it works that way. And then Renee says, "That's awesome. I loved your costume." She had an antique dress on while volunteering. Well, apparently you were there, Renee. I'm afraid I
Met
I
so many
can't.
new people there.
We met so many folks there, and but it was fun. It was really fun, and thoroughly enjoyed it.
So you don't bump
And
over.
luckily, that was probably one of the last truly social events around this town that wasn't overshadowed by COVID-19.
And that was the last social thing that you and I have done.
Yeah, that's the first social thing I've done in a long time, other than, like I said, go to doctors and stuff. But I wouldn't have missed that thing for the world.
I'm hoping that more people will come on Tuesday nights to this chat. We'll get to know each other, and then when lockdown is over, we'll be able to meet face to face and have faces to go with the people that we know. I would love to be able to meet a lot of folks here and then actually get to meet you and hug your neck when this is all over.
Well, Renee says we didn't actually meet. She said you wanted to, but they were busy. So
okay.
Perhaps next time something like that comes up, because it would be nice to meet you, Renee. It would. I wonder if the July 4th parade will happen. Well, Gina, this is just my opinion, but I'm going to say no. I don't think the window is going to be closed that soon. We have not yet, although they're talking about some dips and downclines, or declines, I guess I'm trying to say. But I don't think we've seen close to the peak of this yet. I personally, I believe it's going to peak around the 1st of June. And then it will start to taper off. But between now and the 1st of June, I still expect it to be increasing, but that's just me. Okay, Renee said she'd love to meet us and love to meet her too. Oh, Mona said she's been stalking both of us for a while now.
Well, when this is
Well,
all
you're
over,
doing a good job, Mona.
just come up and hug it.
If you're stalking us and we don't know it, you're a good stalker. Gina, that would be nice to make out for a meet and greet down the road. You're right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Kevin said,
And if the 4th of July doesn't happen, he'll celebrate his own way. It's my favorite holiday. Yeah.
we don't usually go out to celebrate. We stay home and celebrate here at the house.
A few years ago, though, I went out and I bought about around a little over $300 worth of fireworks, and set that off on the 4th of July right out here in front of our house. We got 4 acres out here in front of us, and had a real good night that night. It was really hot, though. It was really, really hot.
It's okay. Tell him we don't mind you stalking us instead of following us.
Well, anyway, we're glad to have you stalking us. I guess, that's just like nowadays, it's appropriate to go in with a mask on your face to a bank and ask for money. Hey, who'd have thunk it? Well, a follower is a follower. If it's stalking or following, kind of the same difference, at least on the internet.
Yeah.
As long as it stays.
Let's see. Texas.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
but I mean, just It was extraordinarily hot that year. I think it was
It was
like
like
it was like
96 at midnight.
it was like a record-setting day, and in the evening it was like 85% humidity. It was just completely oppressive. But it was a bad night for an old guy that runs around and sweats a lot anyway.
Here's our
So,
chat.
oh, Mata, no problem. I'll tell you a little story. I speak Spanish fairly well, and I lived over in Europe for a lot of years and met a lot of people, some of whom spoke 3, 4, maybe more languages fluently. It wasn't uncommon to run into somebody that spoke German and French and English and Spanish. And if you could speak those 4 languages, you can go damn near anywhere. And you come back here to the States, and everybody speaks one language, and we're offended that there's so many others out there. It just it amazes me.
Thank you very much, Renee.
What'd you say?
Renee said it's a beautiful cat.
Oh, yeah.
He's a
gorgeous.
spoiled brat, too.
Yeah. Oh, Big Ray's got some M80s. Oh, yeah. One of my faves. Yep. All right, Gina, thank you coming back. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
Enjoyed your company. So
I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yep. Hopefully we'll see you again next week. Spread the word, too. Talk to your friends. Try to drag them in. Not screaming, but anyway. So good night. Gibberish, Spanglish, and some others, huh? Well, I'll tell you just a real quick story. The first Spanish that I learned was Tex-Mex when I lived down in Laredo from the time that I was 3 until I was 10. I was pretty much bilingual for most of the time I was there because I lived in a neighborhood where all my friends were Mexicans. Then I go to Arizona and I go up through the years there, go into the Air Force, and the first place that I go is Seville, Spain, where they speak Andalusian Spanish, which is a whole lot different than Tex-Mex. So I had to learn a lot of stuff, learn how to say a lot of stuff, listen a little better, and regain some skills that I had lost over the years. Because by the time I left Spain, I spoke fairly good Andalusian Spanish. So then I go around for another few years, and I land back in Madrid, Spain, for another almost 5 years, where they speak Castilian Spanish, which is the pure Spanish. So I had to learn that one again. So, I mean, I've spoken 3 or 4 different kinds of Spanish most of my life, and now it's, it's.
But Kevin anyway. Lives in Florida, but he speaks Tex-Mex. Yep. Welcome back, Iron Fire.
Yep.
He used to live in Texas,
Yeah. But there's some.
Daughter's okay.
There's some significant differences between the 3 different varieties of Spanish. I'll tell you that. And you get judged on where you're from over in Spain. Yes, you do. Hello, Mr. Blue. How you doing down there? Yeah, the blue kitty. The blue kitty.
The other thing I did today in the kitchen, besides that, is I made a great big pot of ham, bean, and vegetable soup. That's what we're going to have for supper tonight.
Yep. As soon as we get offline here, we're going to have dinner. Probably watch a movie. We watched a cute movie last night called Doolittle with Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doolittle. I don't recall this one ever coming out in the theaters. I think I might have noticed it. But it was a cute little movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So we got it through Redbox. We might watch it again tonight just because.
Iron Fire Horse, when I was in high school, I wanted to learn French. That was the language I wanted. But I live in South Texas, and my mother is very practical. She told me, you live in South Texas, you will learn Spanish. So I took 2 years of Spanish. My daughter, my older daughter, took French when she was in high school, and I learned a smattering of French from helping her study. I decided it was probably a good thing I learned Spanish.
Yep.
But I don't remember any of it anymore. I can say no habla español. I've been good at that all my life.
Marty, you say you love to travel and experience different cultures and food. I'll tell you what, the places that I've lived, I also spent about 3.5 years in Izmir, Turkey. And that was the most difficult language I ever tried to learn in my life. It was awful. It's a toughie. Spanish is easy, being a Romance language, and Turkish is just impossible. But anyway, I got to eat a whole lot of really, really good Turkish food, and the culture was wonderful when we were there. We were back there in the mid-'70s. But anyway, let's see. Big Wave says the Castilian form of Spanish is very hard to be proper, largely because the pure Spanish is spoken with a bit of a lisp. So whenever you say something, it's kind of like if you have just a tiny bit of a lisp in it, that makes it more the Castilian Spanish. So it goes back to when I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, he had a lisp. So everybody started speaking that way so he wouldn't be embarrassed, I guess maybe is a good way to put it. Anyway.
The Spanish I took here was supposed to have been Castilian, but I'm sure the people over there would not call it that. There was no lisp in the way she pronounced things, and she didn't roll her R's and a lot of other things. It's not a very good Spanish class.
Oh my gosh, Icelandic. Yeah, I mean, just hearing some of those Nordic languages like that, I just kind of, huh? What? It just,
Japanese.
it does not make sense. Does not compute at all. And you look for some root words that might sound kind of the same. Ain't none. Ain't none.
Renee, I tried to learn Japanese when I was watching Shogun. I had students in my the lab I worked in at UT in Austin that were from Japan, and they sort of helped me. Do I need to put some more in that?
Yeah, I'm out. There's the big kitty guy. There's the big kitty guy.
Oh, that's Icelandic. He loves Daddy to pick him up. He really doesn't like me to pick him up. But when I'm sitting in my recliner with my feet up, he's the first one in my lap. He likes to stretch out, get comfortable, and as soon as he's happy, then the dog comes up. There you go, in my lap too. So I spend most evenings with the dog and the cat sharing my chair with.
And in her bed too, because one of them sleeps down her feet, one of them sleeps kind of up by her knees. So
right. I learned how to say please and thank you, but the
Uncle's always corrected me, so I guess I was doing it wrong. I tell you, the ones who always corrected me when I was a little off in my pronunciation were the French assholes. They're really picky about their language. I mean, I didn't know how to speak French, so I just picked up a few phrases enough to go on vacation up there. And invariably, they would just kind of look at me like they just, and then they a lot of times they spoke English.
Like you were a foreigner.
Man, and one of these looking down your noses at you. I don't like that stuff. So
wearing his something like clothes. Like they're wearing his cats like clothes because they locked down. Aw, that's great.
Yep.
Sweetie Pie, we got 3 minutes until it's time to sign off.
Time flies when you're just sitting there on your butt. Well, Kevin, thanks for coming by. Iron Horse, you too. Renee, thank you very much. Mata, very nice to meet you. I hope you'll come back, and allowing you to be part of this conversation has been a pleasure. So, hope you'll come back.
Look forward to seeing you all next week.
Yep. And perhaps subscribe if you haven't already, and at least that way you will get a notice when we do come back online again. We'll probably try this again. I'll try to do a better job of getting the word out like Kate suggested. So in the meantime, folks, good night. God bless. Stay safe and
we'll bring you to Iron Fire Horse.
Stay apart.
Hopefully I'll see you Sunday.
Okay. Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye.